Dell will be our officials tonight. Wake Forest in their pink tops for the annual pink game, and then Pitt in all white. We are underway here at Sprice Stadium. Only 2 home matches remain for this Wake Forest team in the regular season. One tonight and one on Sunday, and that is a theft that can cause problems for Wake Forest, but the defense able to rise and send it out of the troubled area. Threading it up ahead and trying to see if they can test Amaral. Amaral, as usual, right off her line to claim it. Trying to find Wild. Despite the results that maybe Wake Forest didn't really expect, Amaral still very, very good. She had some huge saves against Clemson, big ones against NC State. Of course, we saw some great ones against Louisville. That is a good threaded ball, though. Just a bit offside, though, according to the side judge.
Yeah, it's
one member, we talked about the save. You said that Amaral, she won't get credit with the save because it's offside.
That's right.
That was brilliant. Was I already?
No,
in front of
absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. That was an incredible moment. I mean, you know, you look at why that save was so important when it doesn't even count, and it's because had she not made the save, there would have been a VAR review and the goal would have counted because the offside decision was clearly wrong. But because she made the save, there's nothing to review.
Flanagan on that left side, one of the freshman stars this season for head coach Tony DeLuz.
And Ty, let that be a lesson to all those young players out there. That is why you play the whistle.
That's right. Pitt has been a strong team. I know the record might not look it, but they have been pretty solid. They just have, they stayed in contention with Duke, stayed in contention with Carolina. And Wood trying to get on the board quickly. I love the idea, trying that just quick turn and blast, just to possibly see if Rice isn't paying attention.
Yeah, really good vertical feed. I also think you take that early shot because if you take a touch or two, you're going to move yourself down and towards the end line where the angle is really tough.
Well, she also, go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The angle would have been tough, and then your only options there after that would have been to feed a ball across the face of goal where the goalkeeper can pick it up or maybe cut it back, but you have no shooting angle for that.
I was going to say maybe she was aiming for the posts because that's how she got a goal worked out and created against Louisville last time she was here under these lights. Something to keep an eye on as Wake Forest decided to push Brooke Miller back to the right side and have Scythe on the left side. And according to Coach DeLuz, he thinks Brooke Miller and Maxwell work well together. Just have a little bit more closeness in their chemistry. Chemistry is very important. There's Allie Flanagan from Round Hill, Virginia. Between the two freshmen, Maxwell and Flanagan, 10 goals, 5 assists. Another very tough place to.
What a turn. Dempsey Brown had just been struggling with taking a bit of a knock. She looks okay. Such a composed player on the ball, Dempsey Brown. She's had to play a number of different positions during her time here at Wake Forest. Fullback, center back.
She's essential because as soon as she's in the starting lineup or gets on the field for more than, say, 40 minutes, the team just seems to play a little bit more sharp.
And just more assured. You know, she's great emergency cover for the defensive line. She can recover well at pace to defend a transition. She's great in possession. Just so many things that you want in a number 6. And she's very well built to play the modern number 6 role too, which requires a lot of flexibility. You look at, someone like, turn to the professional game, a James Milner.
It's a tip there by the Panthers. You see Ellermeyer trying to make a run as well.
Milner, kind of one of those first modern 6s, modern midfielders who played in that Liverpool system under early Jurgen Klopp days, where he would drop back into the fullback position while Trent Alexander-Arnold would go high.
Right.
And you look at the U.S. women's national team, they've struggled to find a strong number 6 in the wake of Julie Ertz retiring.
Abraham.
Players like that are just very rare.
Abraham having to tie the boot. And Abraham, not a freshman, but a sophomore. You have a little batch of Panthers that have come in for 2025. Something to keep an eye on as they grow. If it's under the direction of the Waldrums, they're going to find talent. Randy Waldrum now turning to his first season as technical director. His son now the head coach. I think that's a very, very good plan by Pittsburgh to have Randy Waldman still involved in this as a technical director, and then have his son, who's been a part of this program for 7 years, as the head coach. I mean, that is really scary to other ACC teams.
Yeah, you've kind of got a legacy influence, if you will, and somebody that knows the program, knows the sport.
As Randy Waldrum and one of the Hall of Famers, and has been his son, and first year as head coach, 5-8-2, but see his dad right behind him. I'm sure that's a great team.
Yeah, and you can see already tactically what this team is trying to do on the field. They're pressing relatively effectively. The Deacs have done well so far to play through that pressure, but it's kept them from really threatening in the attacking third.
Of course, Randy Waldron got really introduced to the soccer world with his success at Notre Dame, then coming to Pittsburgh. He's also national coach, Trinidad and Tobago, and also Nigeria head coach too. So international experience to go with it. That's got to be a nice thing to have when recruiting.
Yeah, no question about that. Those connections, honestly, are exceedingly important at this stage, because it's hard for every player, even when you're playing at, an ACC program, but even beyond that, further down, sometimes it can be hard to get exposure when, at the national team level, where they have so many players and so much to look at. Player pool is enormous. Having connections like that can really give a player a break.
I love the fact that, Randy with 470 wins, but rather than kind of say, I'm going to retire, he still loves the game, rightfully so, right? He's going to let his son do it, and he kind of sits in the backdrop and still a part of it. I guess less stress, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe. But I remember when that news broke about the new head coach being his son Ben Waldrum, and then Randy Waldrum being the technical director. I was like, man, that is a professional model right there. Here's Weeman, who gets to start again after an injury has caused little problems. That is a great slide tackle by Weeman. She has come in for Zadian, who's been fighting an injury, and they might look at this.
Yeah, I'm nervous to see the replay tie for Wake Forest here because at first glance, I didn't see a touch on the ball. Now, from our angle, we were a little blocked off by the two players who had their backs turned to us, but this is going to be a nervy review.
Yeah, let me give me a chance to see that one more time before. First, originally looked like it was.
I will say this,
From
Ty,
the
the referee looked very convicted of his decision at the beginning. So this is they're gonna need a conclusive evidence to overturn this beautiful delivery. And there's a touch on the ball. That is a great tackle. That is a wonderful, wonderful tackle at a critical moment, because if that ball reaches the attacker, it's game over.
And here's somebody that has had to step up. And
yeah, that's a fantastic tackle. And
yeah,
great job by the referee.
Brown immediately showing like, no.
Yeah, great job by the referee to see that.
Good job by the referees to make sure, get a better look at it. And Weeman having to come all the way back and make that slide tackle on Margaret Wild. It's clutch. Pitt does return 12 letter winners from last season. They finished the year 9-6-3, but they also lost 5 of their 6 top goal scorers. Miller back with the support to Weeman, and Weeman all the way to Amaral. Just played about 10 minutes in this match. A nervy one as Pitt has really clawed and have had a couple of trips into the attacking third. 5 years ago when Pitt last came here, they were led by a superstar, a sophomore on her way to becoming one of the nation's best. That was Amanda West. And she came in as a sophomore back in 2020, already with 23 career goals. That's insane. Of course, she's now off into the professional ranks.
Tell you what, Ty, Pitt has been in control of this early stage of the game. The Deacs here trying to get out in transition. They have not had a lot of room to get on the ball and get their players forward in the attacking third, see what they can do here.
Maxwell likes this. Cuts back, left foot swing. Wake Forest trying to see if they can come up with something. And the service ball not bad by Maxwell. Try to chip Valentine Amaral. Maybe a little nervy, but she didn't seem bothered at all by it.
No, but nervy enough that it concedes a corner.
Yes,
that
right. Yeah.
was a dangerous effort, that's for sure. You see the almost disappointment on Emerald's face, because as a goalkeeper, I mean, that's a great save. She's up that high to help in possession and to help if Pitt goes long. But once there's really not a chance of either of those happening, got to track back.
That was definitely done from a little film work before this match. Amaral would like to creep up a little bit off her line. Wake Forest, who had mentioned kind of in a drought offensively, and speaking with Coach DeLuz yesterday, and we both kind of agreed with each other that someone just kind of needs to roll the dice a little bit, get a little creative, do something like that where they could possibly get on the goal sheet. And man, Wood was in a prime spot to show you why she's player to watch, man. That was a very good ball. Right when we're talking about creativity, talking about gambling, that's what you need.
Yeah, this is a good finish. It just took a clip off the goalkeeper. That's a great save, so that's why there's a corner here. That is a good chance for the Deacs.
Corner, let's see if the Deacs, they work methodically, and they work constantly on their set pieces as Maxwell tried to move it quickly back over to her left foot. Couldn't quite get enough on it. But they continuously work on set pieces at training. I mean, it is a part of the agenda. Which, of course, I applaud. But Coach DeLue's not happy that they haven't come up with anything on the set pieces that they've been given over the previous games. Maxwell splinting. And trying to roll that one. Not quite on target. Here's Pitt trying to work up. Good turn by Wild. Now over to Abraham. Keeping that one on the deck. And too many bounces inside the box. Wake Forest can't afford to have that many bounces in their defending box there. Miller, look at that space.
Yeah, this game's starting to turn into a track meet a little bit.
Scythe eyeing Wood. Scythe pinching in. Playing it over to Flanagan. Flanagan. Now let's get all that ends up in a goal kick.
Back and forth we go. This game has opened up quite a bit. Both teams getting forward, losing the ball, and then having a lot of space down the other end.
Pittsburgh also without Ellie Breach, so they've had to turn to Rice in net. Rice is a junior goalkeeper from Upper Arlington, Ohio, and she came over from Tennessee. Did play in 4 games last season. Clever cutback in. A touch that just got away from Maxwell, but she has the speed to track it down. Miller is the support. Tough corner there. A diagonal ball that actually worked. Big still. At a danger zone. Oh, that's very, very creative by Miller.
Yeah, just to get out of jail there down in the corner.
Flanagan is pinched in centrally. Here's Maxwell. She's trying to split the defender. Let's see if she got tripped up. The whistle goes quiet. And Pittsburgh trying to work up with Gagne.
Yeah, the referee is not going to reward a player for ending up 1-on-2 unless the foul is very blatant. So she kind of hemmed herself in there between 2 defenders, got the double team, and wasn't able to get out of it.
It'll be a corner for the Panthers. End to end, yes, opened up. I think Wake Forest might gladly accept the track meet if that's going to be the case.
They have players that are well suited to a back and forth game. Just need to be stout defending in space.
The second corner for Pitt. And it's a high arcing ball, and arriving, at least an attempt, is Abraham.
Great defensive work by Carly Wilson to poke that free after the first shot.
And now the switch with Scythe now on the right side. You see how Coach DeLue's has now switched the field.
And Flanagan
on
well.
the right side. Yep, Flanagan out. Oh, that's well played. That's in. And the Deacs open the books with a beautifully designed play from the mad scientist, switching personnel from one side of the pitch to the other. Who is it? Our player to watch, Alex Wood. It's like we called it.
Yeah, we said, Ty, she doesn't need too many efforts to find the back of the net. Had one saved earlier, and this time buries it on transition. It's exactly where Wake likes to be. It flipped the field. Flanagan and Scythe combining, this time on the right instead of on the left. And how about this ball? First the dribble, and then the cutback right there to about 8 yards out. and Wood buries it.
She has such a fantastic one touch, or her first touch, which a lot of times have been shots. And I think you alluded to that earlier about how many goals she had her freshman year and how many shots. But she'll put it on frame if she's anywhere near that 18 on that first touch. This time in the back of the net. Her second goal of the season. Alex Wood.
And also, I mean, half that battle, Ty, is off-ball movement. You saw it first on the chance deep. Speaking of off-ball movement.
And then Coach Toulouse has now flipped it back to where it was when we started this, with Brooke Miller at the right back and Maxwell up the right wing.
So, you know, the off-ball movement first in the transitional opportunity to get herself free on goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one to hang back and just give herself that space. She saw the opening at the top of the 6-yard box and just put herself in a position to receive the ball. And Flanagan found her.
That's Flanagan's first assist of her freshman campaign. Big ball again over the top, hoping to find somebody on the back porch. Reinserting it in as Weeman. It's a half volley inside the 18. Still lots of clutter there inside the penalty area, but then spit out for DeNatale to run it down. Wow, what a 50-50 crunch there. Good job by Rice coming up.
That's great goalkeeping. Saw it early, was decisive, came out, challenged the play, and made the tackle. That is very difficult.
Yeah, 14 points in the ACC. We saw the table at the beginning of our show. Florida State and Virginia, that is a big one. And they're tied 1-1. Now, of course, you look back at the Louisville match where Wake Forest seemed to have that in that back pocket, and then Louisville came out in the second half just with extra energy, ended in a draw. You wonder what it would be like if they did actually have 3 points as opposed to that 1 point. Amaral. Maxwell coming to. Maxwell still with it, and that one not quite turning it, turning her body completely to send that one across for somebody to try to put it in. Still, good fight by Maxwell. She will not let up. Now, since Wake Forest's upset against Duke at Duke, where they scored 3 goals, Wake Forest has only scored 2 in the last 3 matches. They went down 2-1 against NC State on the road, which that's another story. It's a team that looked very lost in the beginning of the season has flipped it around and has completely changed everybody's attitude towards NC State. Louisville also that 1-1 tie. And then the Clemson match where a late goal was enough to give the Tigers the win 1-0. You see the success rate when Wake Forest scores first, 8-0. Leading 1-0. Second goal by Alex Wood on her senior night. Speaking of Dempsey Brown, she's just a junior, so she'll return, Kyle. That's a pretty good player to have back, especially with all the experience she has.
This Wake Forest program set up for a lot of success in the near future.
I mean, the proof is right there. Number 21, women who fighting just to get some playing time, right? And then with an injury, she comes in, for a freshman that has been outstanding and just fills in the gap with no problem at all. Feisty, fighting, and not scared of the bright lights, which is very impressive. Just kind of the culture at Wake Forest.
Absolutely. Next
Dempsey
player
Brown.
up.
Dancing inside the 18, and she'll pull it back for Scythe. Scythe. Quite get that one off. With a rebound, Dempsey Brown knocks it off a Pitt defender. It will be a throw-in.
Don't think this was the intent, but the passage of play has just ended up with the Deeks overloading that left side, and they're very comfortable over there. Just continue to win the ball back.
Well, to say the overload on that left side has been there for a good hot minute.
Dempsey Brown just kind of got pulled over there while she was on the ball, and then managed to stay and kept that superiority, which has sort of led to this extended possession for the Deeks.
Maybe the morale was down a little bit with coming into this match with a Wake Forest team that didn't quite have the results they wanted. With a loss at NC State, a loss at Clemson, a tie here under the lights against Louisville. But if you take a step back, and Coach DeLuce told me this too, hey, we've got 9 wins and 3 losses. And remember what the story was about this Wake Forest team coming into 2025. Offside flag is up. It's just a rebuilding year, and probably not to expect much. But here we are in the end of October, and Coach DeLuce, the mad scientist, already has 9 wins, 3 losses. Okay, the 3 ties, but his RPI sitting at 26. That's where you want to be. He said there's multiple teams out there that would love to have Wake Forest's record in their RPI.
Oh, undoubtedly. That's just life in the ACC, is you're going to play great teams every single week. And, the strength of that schedule is unrelenting.
I got a point here, Coach Kyle.
I'll take it.
Well done by Flanagan. That's just IQ too, being able to kind of split the defenders once that you kind of get brushed, although that might pull back to the outside of the.
Yeah, they're gonna look at this, I think, to see if it was in the penalty area. But I think this is definitely a foul outside the area. Understand them looking at it, but now the rule states, Ty, that if a foul begins outside the area and continues into the penalty area, it's a penalty. I just don't see that here.
This is what I need some clarification on, because you could see, how do you define that?
Yeah, no, it's a judgment call. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what makes refereeing so hard. But you'll see here that the initial contact, you see Flanagan feels the contact from behind her, that it doesn't come there. There's the foul, and then as the ball runs away, she does sort of grab the hip of Flanagan, but it never continues into the penalty area. It's just that her momentum takes her forward, and it looks worse than it is. But this should be a foul outside the 18. Yep, and it looks like that's exactly what's coming.
Good job by the officials of Corey Rockwell in making sure that it is indeed a free kick outside of the 18 rather than a PK. Sometimes, Kyle, I get confused too with with being tripped up or right outside of the 18, trying to dive into the 18 to advertise that you need a PK. But still, this is a tough spot for Pitt with some 2 good long distance shooters from here. Scythe can do it, decides to go short. This is DeNatale. Woo, my! Drop the mic. It's something about the pink jerseys, Kyle.
Straight off the training ground there. Laine DeNatale, what a strike. We haven't been able to see that from her very much this season, just based on the position that she plays. But clearly, Tony DeLuce saw something and drew it up during practice, and they delivered it on the pitch. What a goal, a beautiful left-footed curler.
That smile says it all. But yes, how that was designed, the left foot, tuck it in. We call that freeze frame because the keeper can just look and see that one go in the net.
And it was disguised perfectly by Scythe, too, the whole way.
Yep.
She looked like she was going to shoot it, and then at the last second, yanked on the reins and just delivered it square.
How about that? First career goal for DeNatale. And man, that was a golazo. Gorgeous ball, upper V.
Boy, now if the Deeks need a goal late, they have somebody they can throw up at striker as an extra shooter.
And then they were thirsting for a goal, and now they've got 2 with 20 minutes to go in the first half. And flag up. Good offside trap. That was another thing Coach DeLuz wanted to improve about clearing the lines. He said if they did that against Clemson, that would have not had that goal come in the late minutes of that one.
Yeah, playing an offside trap like that, you could tell that's what they were doing because the whole team put their hands up. It's, you're playing with fire a little bit when you do that, but it can be a really effective tool.
Good example of the multiple repetition and times again in practice working on those set pieces. It was just defined there. DeNatale, creative. Little gamble. Worked. It's so much room. Scythe battling. 2-0 in favor of Wake Forest. What looked to be possibly a penalty kick, but then reviewed, turned into a free kick. And then mixed up in a pot. And some creativity by the coaching staff in this Wake Forest team ended in the first goal of the career of DeNatale. And you can see Maxwell has inserted herself in that center lane. Again, with those overloads on the left side, Kyle. Now they'll kind of get more expansive.
Yeah, there's a lot of fluidity in the attack right now, which is a real positive for Wake Forest because it makes it difficult for the defensive side to track their players. You can sort of get a defensive unit out of sorts by moving players all over the place because it makes man marking very difficult.
Well, that assist from Scythe to DeNatale, that is Scythe's 9th assist of the season. She's one of the top
taking the corner at number 11,
helpers in the country coming into this match, and she just got another one, making it 9 assists for Sierra Scythe. A corner for the Panthers, down 2-0.
Yeah, she came into the game tied for 4th in the ACC with her 8 assists. How about now with 9? She's tied for 5th in the country. There you go.
Someone that's came here to score goals. She's assisting on goals, playing defense. Gagne will take it again. Panthers need just a glimmer of hope as they trailed 2-0, but they have had their opportunities. They've gone down in the attacking third quite a few times. They looked really, really scrappy in the beginning. Of course, one of the main things, too, that Coach DeLuz wanted his team to do was set the tone, get an early goal, maybe 2, and check that box.
Yeah, and I think here's the thing, though, that's telling for the Wake Forest defense, Ty, is that, with all this attacking movement that Pitt has had, their best opportunity came from basically midfield. So they've had a lot of attacking pressure, and they've created chances, but they really haven't been quality chances. And so I think the Wake defense will feel good about how they've handled the pressure so far.
Hannah Johnson now coming on. She was also honored before the match for senior send-off night. And Johnson with a huge game winner against Duke. Also had a huge goal against Virginia Tech.
Step to the groove!
15 in some change remaining in this first half, with Wake Forest leading 2-0. The first goal ever by DeNatale, one on the ball right now. Alex Wood also with a goal. She's usually the one that puts in goals when they're on the road. Finally puts one here under the lights in front of her family watching on. Weeman. That overload and that switch kind of surprised Weeman. She was able to track it down though. Well, that ball had some eyes trying to find Scythe knifing in.
That was a beautiful ball. Those are difficult to defend when they're that much on a rope.
Well, this is interesting, Kyle. Now, the original offside, but wasn't it hit off a defender? So doesn't that negate it?
No. Only when a defender attempts to play the ball. So there has to be an attempt to corral the ball. It's essentially like in the NFL, in order to make a catch, you have to make a football move. It's similar to that.
I think that's why Pitt was a little upset.
Inadvertent deflections do not change offside calls.
Brooke Miller cutting laterally against Abraham. Chloe bursts. Chloe Burst had some minutes last year in that legendary 2024 season. Comes in her sophomore year. Has had some even more reps. Someone to keep an eye on too, especially moving into next year. Over the top, and that is right to Wild, but Wild has to track it down, play the support. Pitt just trying to find a window. That's Manaug there, number 17. She's also a freshman.
In the game for Pitt, number 28, Ellie Rollins.
Yeah, this Pitt team is combining well and doing good things in the attacking third, but they have not been able to break this Wake Forest line.
They'll bring in Ellie Rollins now, also a freshman. Interesting nugget about Ellie Rollins. She appeared in the Jimmy Fallon show in the second grade for invention of Ellie's Jelly.
All right. So some creative minds.
Yes. Weeman.
This Deeks team has had a lot of success going long here against Pitt. Just sort of playing dump and chase. I think one thing that Tony DeLuz will want to improve on as we go towards the end of the first half and into the second half is their ability to build from the back through the middle. They haven't had much through Carly Wilson and Lola Ressler. It's mostly been sending the ball wide to either Alex Wood up the middle or to one of their wingers.
What to you call has kind of changed because it looked as though Pitt was running this match. They were in control.
Yeah.
It seemed like any minute they were going to get a goal.
Yeah, it's exactly what I think I was just talking about, is that the Deeks stopped trying to play through the middle and pass their way through this Pitt team, and they've started dumping it long, and that's worked. If they haven't won the first ball, they've won the second ball, and that's how they've kind of gotten out of jail. You see them here passing around the back. It's because there's nothing that they can find through the middle, building from the back. And I think ultimately, Tony DeLuise and most coaches will prefer to build through the middle of the field, passing their way forward, rather than playing long. It's great to be able to play long because it gives yourself a way of getting out of jail against a press like this, right? Pitt's pressing quite high, and they're not aggressively counter-pressing the ball, but they are marking players deep. And so it's very difficult to pass through that. But I think Coach DeLuise will say, hey, we need to be better to try and break pressure with the ball on the ground rather than just resorting to sending it long, because there have been games this year where they've gotten married to that and it hasn't worked.
There's an attempt and a chance there for Pitt. Wake Forest with some subs. Faircloth has come in. And good to see Zadian. She was on the shelf with a knock. This is trying to snipe again that far top corner.
Yeah, that's a good spot to be shooting from. That's a dangerous position there.
Burst backs up and will play it off the hop. Zadian was one of those players that kind of, I guess, what jumped off the page surprised me. Going to the beginning of the season, I guess go a month in, you're not quite sure what you have with your freshman. Used as a center back, that was one of the question marks. Man, she came in and played like a vet. And they got something brewing with number 4.
Yeah, this retooled defensive line from Coach DeLuise has really impressed. They have really never wavered this season.
Abraham's now moved in centrally. Nobody really coming out wide on this near side. You see Zadian, who's been, a freshman coming in, and then first thing she does is give DeNatale a huge hug for the first goal of her career. And rather than take out Weeman, who was inserted for Zadian, she goes in for DeNatale. So it's the two, Zadian and Weeman, playing back at the center backs. Good step by Dempsey Brown. Wells. Burst chasing into the nice pocket, and the one touch trying to find Abraham. And Dempsey Brown ushers that one back. That was a little risky. I'm not sure if Amaral saw the attacker from Pitt making the way.
No, that was a long ball that was supposed to be in the air that she didn't get in the air, is what that was.
Trying to settle his Rollins. 6.5 remaining in this first half. Wake Forest leading 2-0. Desperately needing 3 points. A team that has spent most of the year ranked. And subs coming in.
Number 9, Eliana Ramirez, and number 26.
Ramirez coming in for Wake Forest.
For number 7, Sophia Dunny, and number 18, Aliyah Jadi, and number 20, Celine Ota.
Donnie coming in for Pitt, as well as Ota.
Interesting to see Ramirez playing in midfield now. She started the season as a striker and has sort of dropped further and further deeper into midfield as the season's gone on, and Tony DeLuz has had a better look at her skill set and what she can bring to the team.
Been a pretty tight line here.
Yeah, so this is what I want to highlight this right now, because with the Deeks passing it around the back, let's take a look at what Pitt's doing here, because Pitt is not pressing, right? They're not pressing hard. They're not trying to put the defenders who are on the ball for Wake Forest under a ton of pressure. What they're doing is they're playing with a high line. They're marking Dempsey Brown out of the game possessionally. You've got both forwards who basically rotate one to the ball, one to Dempsey Brown, because they know that the only possessional option for the Deeks building forward is Dempsey Brown. And when she can't get on the ball, there's nothing that they have to play in midfield. And you see, they try to go up to Ramirez and they give it away. So Pitt's done very well to prevent Wake Forest from building through the middle.
Taryn Chance also coming in for Wake Forest, and the Nog was on it for a second.
So I think you've got to credit both teams here. First, Pitt for noticing that this is how to play Wake Forest. It's a great game plan they've got here in possession. But also for Wake Forest, it's really a credit to Dempsey Brown and what she brings to this team.
Flighted ball immediately snatched out of the air by Amaral. I mean, that was a pretty good idea, too, by Pitt, to have that one drop maybe a little bit more farther out in that 18, but still. Getting Amaral to come off her line, but she squeezed it and threat averted. Here, Coach DeLuz saying 3 minutes left. Or we like to say, don't fall asleep at the wheel.
Right. Yeah, Pitt will want to see if they can put some pressure on the Deeks here over the final few minutes, because they've been the better team over the last 15 or so since that second Wake Forest goal.
There they are once again trying to get into that final phase, but taken away in Wake Forest. Working with Miller. Miller thought about sending it up line to Burst.
So what you have here is, with Dempsey Brown not an option basically possessionally, the Deeks need one of their other two midfielders to drop down and help. They've got both Ramirez and Wrestler way high up the field, and the center backs have basically no option except to play the fullbacks or dump it deep for the wingers.
It's Faircloth thinking to go big ball, deflected out of bounds. Even with her knee brace and those 2 years that she could not play, and now back here in 2025, she's still fast with that knee brace on. Dempsey Brown will watch this one go across her body and then continue it across to Brooke Miller. There's another thing that Coach DeLuz said is you keep playing the easy ball, right? The lateral ball, and not quite rolling the dice. And I think we saw that in the first two goals, especially the first one with that threaded ball for Alex Wood.
Yeah, this Deeks team wants to create transitional moments. That's why the two midfielders are so high up the field, because once they get on the ball, they can go and they have numbers. It's just the link up between defense and midfield that's missing.
40 seconds remaining in the first 45. And Forest with a 2-0 lead, although shots 6 for Pitt and 5 for Wake Forest. But the shots on frame, Kyle, 4 of the 5 for Wake Forest on frame. 2 in the back of the net. Well, that's a good clip over.
Wow.
And of course, Amaral rushing right on. That is a brilliant, brilliant play by Pitt that almost worked out for Donnie. Amaral read it well, as she's done her entire career. Believe it or not, she's just a sophomore, redshirt sophomore. Well, the Deeks, they were thirsting for a goal. They got 2, and they got them in the ways that maybe Coach the more you look into it, the more it makes sense.
Yeah. And, well, they faked it. They didn't do it. Usually when you put that many players up on the line, that's exactly what's going to happen. We talked about it before, but it was popularized by PSG when they won the Champions League this last year, and a bunch of other teams, both in the men's game and the women's game, up and down, have sort of taken notice.
I mean, it's a game of numbers, and what you're doing is essentially doing a kickoff, right? And putting them deep in their territory. So it makes sense. And Pittsburgh quickly tried to send a through ball across for possibly an early goal. Almost worked.
Now we'll see how Wake Forest are in possession, if they make any changes from the first half, or if they just continue the way that it was going. They're going to go long from the goal kick, and it goes right to Alex Wood. Great hold-up play and a move. Ended up turning it over in the end, but that's a positive tactical change from Tony DeLuz.
Another thing to keep in mind, Kyle, you'll agree with this, is last time that Wake Forest was on this pitch, it looked like they owned Louisville right after the first 45. Totally different script in the second 45. And Louisville escaped with 1 point. There's Wilson.
Dempsey Brown's taking a beating tonight. And that's what she's saying. Hey, how about some accumulation here? She's not someone you want to make angry.
No. Let's see if Wake Forest addresses the kind of concern that at least we saw going into the halftime segment. That's the last 10, 15 minutes where there's a concern about the absence in that center part of the pitch. Similar to the first half, with Pitt owning possession, doing as they wish. Here's a through ball, and the flag is up.
Yep, there's another one of those offside traps. Wake Forest has executed those very, very well tonight. You can see the center backs are looking for the flag immediately. It takes real team cohesion to do that, because if one person sags back, the whole thing is broken.
DeNatale.
Hannah Johnson bringing one of her knee braces over to the sideline.
Second goal the first half, her first goal of her career. Scythe and Flanagan on this side, and Brooke Miller and Maxwell on the opposite side. So watch for that to flip.
Tony DeLuz has done a number of things here, Ty, tactically, to help the Deeks move the ball forward, and it is working. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Maxwell off and running, has targets. Johnson as well as Flanagan. Diagonal ball, almost had a chance there with Johnson kind of poking it, and Flanagan had a quick look. Maxwell will try to do that again and just can't keep it, although she's showing the free that that's not completely a rotation on the opposite side of the line.
So what we just saw there on that set from Coach Deleuze is a great example of the give and take of the world of tactics, right? You can't do everything. So in order to gain something, you have to give up something. So what he's done is he dropped Dempsey Brown all the way back into the defensive line and moved the center backs all the way out wide, out on the edges. And then Carly Wilson came back into what was Dempsey Brown's position. So now you've got 4 players instead of 3 to pass the ball to. What do you lose? Well, when you get the ball down the wing in a transitional opportunity, you saw Kylie Maxwell had nobody to cut the ball back to. It was just a player at the near post and a player at the far post. That was it. So those are the things you give up. They were able to build the ball, the move forward, but now once you get out in at pace, your attacking options are slightly diminished. So there's your give and take tactically. What do you want versus what do you want to give up?
That's probably what he was writing down before he went into the locker room. Maybe.
Who knows? Some more alchemical formulas.
Alex Wood got this party started with a first goal at home. And 1-0. Flag up again. Deeks have been really good again clearing their lines. Something that Coach Deleuze wanted them to address coming into this match.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. And here's another one. I don't know if we've got another score, but there's also a little bit of a shocker. Goal in the 89th minute gave Florida State the win over Virginia.
I tell you what, Ty, that Florida State team over the last decade has been one of the toughest outs that you could get in women's college soccer. I mean, regardless of where they are in the national picture, when the weather gets chilly, they turn it up a notch.
That was another intriguing scoreline. Breaking news, Miami leading Carolina 1-0. It's their only shot that goes on the back of the net.
We talked about how important that result was for North Carolina. Well, now they've got to get a comeback to make it happen.
Johnson tracking back. Good pressure does knock it out of bounds. It'd be a throw in, so essentially, like, you kind of pin them back. You know? Same thing with that kickoff strategy.
Wake not exactly known for being a high pressing team. They're happy to just sort of go man to man and know that they'll win the ball back 1v1.
Oh, that is a good move. Scythe came a little late there.
I mean, for all the world, everyone, including Sierra Scythe, was sure she was going to cut inside and then just sort of dipped and made that little move to the outside, and there was nothing Sierra Scythe could do.
Nifty feet. Pitt now gets a chance at a set piece. That was Ali Jati. Leah Jati, pardon, has a good ball too, right in front of the 6. And a quick clearance by Brooke Miller. That is a couple of times where Pitt really has put those balls hovered enough right there where you need to put it. And this is our player to watch, Katie Ellermeyer. Not only can she score, she can create, and that's a service ball. Archibald to Ellermeyer. Triangle passing that works well. Ellermeyer trying to keep that one on the deck. Pitt really feisty, gets another turnover. Flanagan almost wrestled that one away. Wake Forest very similar to the start of the first half. Laying back. Pitt throwing some punches, but let's see if they do the same thing they did in the first half, where all of a sudden they turn the switch. Here's Wild. Maxwell. Wood has a seam. She'll latch onto it. Trying to connect with Johnson. It was a difficult pass. And read well by Lee. A great play by Dempsey Brown connecting with Wilson. Wilson out, slides it to Scythe. And now Scythe will try to get creative. Left foot and immediately knocked away by Archibald.
See what the Deeks have from a corner now.
Wake Forest corner.
They scored from a free kick earlier tonight.
Scythe will do the honors.
Well, can Scythe put together Olympico from this side? Nope, gonna go short. See if that kind of gets some separation inside the box. The idea there was to lob that one up near stick. I think Brooke Miller to come there and flick it on.
Yeah,
it was
just
read well there by Rice.
Just a little deep towards the goalkeeper. You want that either at the top left corner of the 6-yard box, so the near corner, or you want to feed that out top the center of the 6-yard box, away from the goalkeeper. Right there at the near post, you've got to have someone charging onto it to meet it before the keeper. Otherwise, it's going to be claimed.
Archibald laying that one down. Jotty with the overlap. Through the legs of Abraham. Scythe quickly turning and clearing it, but Archibald read it.
Yeah, you do not want to be clearing the ball into that central area.
Pitt now with 7 shots to Wake Forest's 5. Wake Forest still looking for their first shot of the second half. Of course, Wake Forest does not want to repeat the second half performance they did against Louisville last time they were under the lights here at Sprite. Just seeing Louisville wanted it more in that second half and leveled it up, came away with a point.
Great triangle passing to get through the press.
That's a good through ball off the line, even better there by Rice. Sometimes the keeper might second guess themselves, and this time Rice was adamant that she came up and cleared it.
The best passing moves are triangles, Ty, in this game of soccer. And that is exactly what got Wake Forest out of jail there. They were hemmed in near the far touchline. It was like 2-on-4. Pitt had triggered their press. And a great 1-2 bink to the outside, and then boom, right back into the middle.
Jotty is out of on offside position.
You can see the frustration there for Pitt as they just cannot manage to stay on side and beat this offside trap. Deeks back to their first half possessional setup. There's very little way through.
sub coming in for
Into the game for
Pitt.
Pitt, number 17.
And then we got a
Hannah
update in the first half. Notre Dame strikes first, 1-0. Pitt has only scored 15 goals this season. They have now allowed their opponent to score 30 of those 2 goals that Wake Forest put up in the first half. Johnny's a very clever player. I've been impressed with her skill set. That's Dempsey Brown goes down, and she's still frustrated. She's been frustrated after the last time she got knocked down.
Yeah, I think the referee just gave Pitt a little bit of a final warning there, as Dempsey knows if there's one more, it'll be a yellow card.
An interesting note of Jody is she is a transfer from Barry, which is a smaller school, and she has a lot of flair to her game. Number 18 for Pitt. Wood. Oh, that almost linked up well with Maxwell. Scythe. This is kind of the time spot where you go by the first half where Wake Forest started kind of flipping the script a little bit. Now they do have a 2-0 cushion.
Great ball.
That's a great
what a dummy.
too. Brown sliding it. Maybe Maxwell's in offside position. It's as if that side judge is about to throw up the flag. It was tight. Flanagan, good ball sent right off the chest of Hannah Johnson. You see Pitt's back line, they had moved up completely. So now Wake Forest a little bit slow. And about 3 or 2 of the that were in offside position. I don't know if it's because of being a little fatigued, but Johnson trying to hold that one up. Wilson tracking back. There's Abraham. Settled by Scythe. Jody is from Morocco, Casablanca, Morocco. Kofieville Community College, then Barry, and then now at Pittsburgh. Last year she was second team All-South region. And she led the SSC in goals per game with 10 goals in 14 outings.
That's pretty good.
It's like a story with somebody that's kind of made their journey from community college to small school like Barry, and then now at Pitt. And if a Waldrum likes you, I think you can use that as a trophy or something. And 2 years at Coffeyville Community College before going to Barry. Wrestler coming in for Wood. Gane coming in, the senior from Montreal. She transferred to Pitt from Kansas. I'll tell you how huge that is, Kyle, with Jody leaving. Because, now the rule says that it doesn't count when they play those JUCO years. So
right.
It's essentially just getting built up and you have the same amount of eligibility.
which is great for the development of the game. There's been a lot of talk about how to keep college soccer as one of the main developmental pipelines for young talent in this country. I think that was a positive move.
A tight line and offside position again. This time, Wake Forest, Flanagan. The amount of pros that these two clubs have produced, and it's definitely top tier college soccer. And that was tight. What do you think, Kyle?
Yeah, it's hard for us to see from this angle, but man, this back line for Wake Forest has executed that offside trap time and time again.
Abraham looked like she had timed it just right, but side judge immediately put up the flag. So yes, Wake Forest is clearing the lines. And Brooke Miller still protesting that it's Wake Forest's throw in as she runs back.
She seemed pretty certain.
She did. Set on a tight rope there. Nog. Gagne. Well, look at that. Louisville leading 1-0. That's a tough place to play now in Raleigh.
They're already above the cut line, so if they can hold on to that result, that would just put a lot more pressure on the teams below them, Duke, North Carolina, and Wake.
Florida State, it was on the outside of that 6. Leading Virginia, you see where that places them. So some guests to the table might be kicked out for right now. The new members, possible invitees. 23 minutes and some change left to go in this contest. All 2 goals came in the first half. Wake Forest, Pitt will not surrender. They still put up more shots than Wake Forest, but cannot find that final ball. It's well settled by Gagne. It'll be a corner off of sight.
Yeah, we're getting to the point again in the game, just like we did in the first half, where Deeks just can't get out of their own half. The options in midfield are just not there. You don't want to go long every single time because 70% of those you're going to lose. So it's been a bit of a chess match, and again, Pitt's asserting dominance. Hard to score when you waste them like that, though.
Yeah. From this angle for a second, I thought it was somehow snuck in that near post, but yes, the wrong side of that side net. Ota returning in as Manog goes out. That's good pressure, too. And never gave up was Wild. Amaron a little bit too comfortable, but even with the contact, still able to get it cleared. Johnson. Wilson making this run to the line. His touch line Dempsey Brown, that's going to be a tough one, 50-50 ball. And really playing advantage for Pitt. And flag again. It's been tight. And she started in an offside position. And she's not too upset.
I'm a little surprised the referee didn't pull this back and show Dempsey Brown a yellow card for that tackle in midfield. But that is an excellent ball forward, and yep, offside.
Yeah.
What a job they've done today with that.
You know, I thought in the Clemson game down in Clemson, they tried to immediately push up, get their lines up. And when Clemson scored, even the commentators for the ACC network thought it was offside. Then you looked at a different angle and were like, wow, somehow just a very slight, slim margin she stayed on.
Yep. That's why it is a risky play, but it's also an effective one, because if you can keep your composure and time it right, you cut down opposing chances before they even happen.
Now, especially because you get the luxury of looking at VAR. Back in the day,
you're just at the mercy of the linesman call, And I know I've said it a million times here, but that's the hardest call to officiate in any sport.
And now the Tar Heels have tied it 1-1. They need more than a draw. They've outshot the Hurricanes 10-1. Dempsey Brown playing it back. Yeah, it's not surprising, but ACC teams ranked in the coaches poll. I mean, you have 7, and only 6 get invited to the ACC tournament. There's Burst coming in. And pardon me, in Nations List, 8 teams in the top 25.
Yeah. So many you lose count.
You do. And you got Notre Dame #1 in the country, and they're second in the ACC table.
Carly Wilson has worked so hard in the midfield for the Deeks today. It's been messy in there. A lot of back and forth.
A poke over that gets away from Brooke Miller. Pitt once again setting up, and a wasted trip as that one sent far from the target. Wake Forest owns this series with 6 wins and Pitt with 2. First time they met was in 2013. Johnson holding it up. Wrestler. Burst. Wrestler. That halfway space, or the half space, and then taken away by Pitt. Good step by Mya DeNatale. And Flanagan just in front of that back line. That was an escape artist there. A heavy touch, and then Brooke Miller gets knocked down. Let's see if she's okay. She hit violently onto the pitch. And that's not a good sign or a good look. Hopefully Brooke Miller is okay, the once attacker at Portland, and then transferring to Wake Forest, converted into a outside back.
There didn't look like there was a ton in that live, but clearly in some pain. Maybe got clipped in the heel. Sometimes if you get spiked like that, it can hurt a lot.
You just need that magic spray. I still have some. There's Faircloth. See the concern on Coach DeLuse's face. And hopefully with the temperatures kind of moving down,
Yep.
the step on the foot hurts a little bit more than it did, say, in September when you got a 75-degree night.
Yeah, certainly hope that's all it is.
Miller, who is, even though despite changing schools and changing positions, a goal and 4 assists, and essential in the build-up play from that back line. And hopefully it's just a issue of getting stomped on. And she's getting helped off the pitch. We'll see what Coach DeLuse does.
In the game for Wake Forest, number 25, Sophie Faircloth.
Ow.
Yeah.
Oh, those spikes can hurt. Hopefully it's nothing more than just a little bit of a poke. You worry about the little bones in there, and hopefully she's all right.
Yeah. A real good step on will sting for quite a few minutes. Risky.
I'll say quite a few days.
Yeah. And a return fire that just away from the frame. That was set up nicely for Pitt maybe to get one back.
Deeks have got to be careful at the back, playing out of the back. Pitt is looking for specific triggers to press, and they can create moments like that. They really have not had a great look on goal. Yep. Just leaned offside a little bit. Saw that coming. She doesn't agree with it, but the call was right.
Even right with a release, so Flanagan trying to time it and see if we get a better look.
Yep, she's just off.
Well, look over here.
No, she's off.
Okay. Shut up. Kyle so adamant. Nope, she's off. Nope. Off the foot of Johnson.
Oof.
Oh, clever Meg. Wilds. Archibald. Now you can see why Coach DeLuse said Pitt is a really good team. I know the record doesn't show it, but look out as some of these young Panthers. So that is a good ball played. Flag stays down. Wild lays it up, and that's going to get into the back of the net. That was perfectly designed, and Archibald will make it a 2-1 contest. That's one of the wake-up call for Wake Forest, and that is a big, big boost for the Panthers.
It's been coming, Ty. It has been coming this whole half. The Panthers have had the better run of play since the Deeks scored their second goal in the first half, and there's just not enough transition defending there to cover the mark. It's a great play by the Panthers. They have pushed and pushed. They really have not had any great scoring chances, but if you up the volume and up the volume and up the volume, eventually over the course of 90 minutes, it's going to fall your way. And that's exactly what they've done. The Deeks have just not been able to possess the ball in their own half of the pitch. And Pitt has come to play with a game plan and executed it exceedingly well.
The Deacs cannot afford to have what happened to them against Louisville here, leading and then seeing it go away, and both teams end with 1 point.
I'm surprised as if you're going to give this for a foul, that should be a yellow card for a high foot. Spiked, I think that's Lola Ressler right in the gut.
Celine Ota. She's from Nigeria, so maybe that being a head coach of that Nigerian team paid off recruiting-wise. "13 minutes to go. Wake Forest once leading 2-0, and just a 1-goal lead. And Pitt with a lot of fight left in them. Flanagan, that's a beautiful turn. Ressler showing in that half space. Flanagan often running, also Burst making a run. And that will go out of bounds. Last touched by a Pitt defender. I believe that was Lee who touched it last. It will be a corner.
Halftime was the time, Ty, for Wake Forest to try and sort out their possessional issues in their own half. Now that it's 2-1 and there's 12 minutes to go, now you say let's lean on what's been working, and that's dump and chase to the wingers out wide and let them cook one-on-one.
Scythe, big ball. Arriving, good hit, just a little bit off. That ball sat down. It was Wilson. And that one had eyes on it too, just a little bit right of the frame.
That was a Clayton Kershaw curveball right there, up and then down. And if that's on frame, that is very difficult for a goalkeeper to follow.
Man, oh, just a little more off to the right. Picking it out of the air, pretty impressive for Wilson. Now under 12. Pitt looking to be spoiler. Faircloth coming in for the injured Brooke Miller.
It has done so well blanketing the middle of the field and forcing the Deacs out wide in their own half, which is where they've sprung their traps, their press traps, is out wide with the fullbacks. Once Wake Forest gets it out wide past midfield, they've been very dangerous. You've got Maxwell and Flanagan who have been exceptional. But when it's with the fullbacks, you got 2, sometimes 3 pressing attackers on a fullback. That's exactly what Pitt wants, and that's where the turnovers have come. Watch this press. Now you've got 2-on-1 every time. Mm-hmm. And now when Wake Forest plays it back, this is where Pitt can get stretched and pressure the Deacs. It's worked to perfection.
Yeah, it really has. Well, Wake Forest will make a change. Looks as if Maxwell will come in for a freshman counterpart, Flanagan. So it'll be Maxwell and Burst on the wings. Flanagan has been really involved tonight. The assist, as well as she set up the set piece. Trying to see if they could set up a PK, but it did not work out for the benefit, and later it did, and that almost worked out to the benefit of Pitt.
That was a very good play, and they've run that same play out wide a couple of times, where the winger has it on the left, and the fullback overlaps, it draws the defender, and opens up the space for the cross.
And this just into Miami has moved ahead of Carolina 2-1. Only 4 shots, 2 in the back of the net. We sit 2-1 here. Wake Forest hanging on to a 1-goal lead, but Pitt salivating and looking for that equalizer. Just pinging the ball around. Now they'll work on the right flank with Ota. It's good support played by Maxwell coming over that assist Faircloth. I thought once Maxwell was coming in, I thought that was possibly Brooke Miller. See if we can get eyes on her to see if she is possibly okay after getting stomped on. Here's a corner kick for Pitt.
Taking the corner for Pitt, number 16,
It'll be Margaret Wild.
Let's go. Just drop.
And deep and then onto the roof of the goal. I tell you, that is a really, not surprising score. That's a really impressive score for Louisville. 2-0 over NC State and Raleigh. Wrestler. Faircloth. A little speed taken away from her, but she still has that get up. $13 shots to 6. Only 1 shot for Wake Forest in this second half. It's like the Deeks landed those 2 punches, and now they're just going to sit back and kind of wear down Pittsburgh. But now it's really, really tight, 2-1.
Yeah, I don't think they've intentionally sat back and defended. They've tried to get out and get their players in space, get their attackers on the ball in transition, but this Pitt team has done a fantastic job of countering that.
Into the game for Wake Forest, number 18, Allie Flanagan.
Flanagan
In the
returning.
game for Pitt, number 7, Sophia Dooney.
Doney coming in. Work goes out. 7 minutes to play. Pitt, still a lot of tenacity. Can they come
Great tackle.
up with the equalizer? And for Wake Forest, can they come up with a dagger? Only 1 shot for Wake Forest in the second half. The clock on their side, but if you're coach to lose, you really want your team to show some liveliness. A high kick, but the play off. And Maxwell has a little pocket of room. Let's see what she can do. Trying to curl that one, and it just went right of the post. Last touch, though, by Pitt. It will be a corner.
Yeah, she knew she was all by herself. She's all alone. There's nobody to help. It's 1-on-3. She's got to find the space, and she does. Right in the middle of that triangle of defenders, cuts the shot between them, and it just deflects off an opponent. Otherwise, that was goal bound.
Flanagan was the option to her right. She was hesitant to make that run after she's been flagged for offside numerous of times, and now Wake Forest trying to milk the clock again here.
Seems a bit early for that.
It does.
Up 2 goals, maybe. Up 1 goal. 5 minutes is a long time.
A quick turnaround, too. Wake Forest will have to get ready for number 1 Notre Dame. Wrestler leaping.
Crowd loved it. She got up the ladder.
It's great awareness, too, by Dabo. Under 5 minutes to go. Is the 2 goals by Wake Forest in the first half enough? Pitt cut into it. It's 2-1. They're hunting again. Ota. Half volley clearance by Faircloth. Archibald with her first goal of her career. Made it 2-1. 4 minutes remaining. Wood back on there on the pitch and sending that corner flag ball to try to tick down the clock. We've seen that a couple times this year too, Kyle. Almost to the point where you remember when it was Maxwell, it just kind of did not compute for her. You know, she had a lot of space on the flank, and she was told to go to the corner and bleed out the clock. Almost looked like her computer like spazzed out. But you know, a win is a win, especially in a conference like the ACC. Archibald lays that one down perfectly right at the midway line. Deeks are sitting with 9 wins, so if they can hold on for 3 minutes and some change, they'll get that 10th win of the season.
Keep doing good.
Amaral. And one of the little bit of critiques, constructive criticism for her when she came on as a goalie was she needed to be loud. And she has definitely figured that out.
Yes. I mean, communicating as a goalie.
But her actions speak really, really loudly. I mean, when she's off the line, she is confident. And she can read the game really, really well. It's been one of the things I've been most impressed with Amaral.
Dempsey Brown basically playing center back at this point.
He's over the top. Weeman heading it. And Scythe just clearing it. Pitt cutting this pitch in half, and Wake Forest trying to lock the doors and the windows and not allow a Panther
Yeah, the
to score an equalizer.
Deeks have played this like there's 30 seconds left for the last 5 minutes.
And Zadian is just coming out of having a knock, and you could see that Pitt's trying to exploit Zadian maybe, and they don't feel that she's quite 100%. You could see Wild trying to nestle in between. They look for that through ball. It has really flirted by knocking that one right in front. Here's a diagonal ball, well read by Maxwell. Still inside of the 18, and Wake Forest now holding on to dear life with 59 seconds remaining. Seven shots for the Panthers in this second half to Wake Forest's 2. Dempsey Brown goes down, and there's a shot and a great save by Amaral. Deacons wanted a foul.
Here comes the goalkeeper.
Amaral immediately comes up with another clutch stop. And here comes the goalie. Everybody in. 20 seconds remaining. Pitt trying to find the equalizer. Knocked away. It'll be another corner.
It was a dangerous corner, almost an Olympico there. Nearly
Deeks
curled
with
it in.
3 points in their pocket. 9 seconds remaining. Pitt trying to steal it. Here's a corner. Deep, going far stick. Headed back, headed away. 0 on the clock. And Wake Forest survives in the second half that was owned by the Panthers. They cut into the lead.